Okay, welcome to my channel. I am Dr. Sharice. This is Spirit, Soul, Sense, Information for Your Soul. I help Black men and women heal from trauma and toxic relationships. Today we're talking about Yandy. I want to start with giving some background on Yandy and her relationship with Mendeecees, and then shifting into what I think she should focus on instead of this man. I don't want to call him any names. Instead of this man, some things that she could do to benefit her life. A big part of why I do these kinds of videos is because you all really care about celebrities. I definitely care about celebrities. I think that they're putting their lives on display like this is interesting. It's an interesting case study that we can learn from. I have lots of videos on my channel about toxic relationships, and the book specifically, if there's anything you get out of this, it's this book that I want you to read for yourself if you have found yourself in any sort of relationship like Yandy. Women who love too much. That's what you need to be looking for. Okay, so I took some notes because I have watched Love and Hip Hop Atlanta off and on. I don't think I ever watched Love and Hip Hop New York. So I had to go do some research to figure out like the timeline of these relationships. The point here is that it's very messy. Listen to how much drama, negativity, and confusion, chaos that is centered around Mendeecees. Okay, so Mendeecees has 3 women that he has children with. I was going to say impregnated, but there could be ones that didn't have the child. The first one was Samantha. Samantha says that they were together for 3 years before she had a baby. I wouldn't be surprised if she was pregnant before, but the way she tells the story, they were together 3 years before she got pregnant. And then he was with Erika, the second mother of his child, while Samantha was pregnant. So when he met Erika, he didn't have any kids. So he introduced himself as like, oh, I'm single, child free, right? But he actually had his first child's mother pregnant. Samantha says, even after we had our child, like I thought he was going to change. She didn't say that, but I'm inserting that part. I thought he was going to change. He still wasn't coming home. And so I just decided to end things. She met Erika and they seemed to have a genuine friendship. So Erika claimed she was in a relationship with Mendeecees, but he denied them ever being in a relationship, according to Yandy. She says they met each other's friends and family and went on vacation together. To me, I saw a video about situationships. The lady said, in every situationship, there is someone with a lack of integrity and there is someone with a lack of self-esteem. The accuracy. Oh my gosh, the accuracy. So it is very possible that Mendeecees never asked Erika to be his woman, to be his girlfriend, to be exclusive. He never said it. But he did a lot of relationship type things. So if she's saying, you know, we're seeing each other's friends and family and all of that. This is an American story, a very New York story, where he's not claiming her, but she's claiming him, even though he's doing all the relationship things. Okay. Yandy meets Mendeecees in 2006. That is when his first kid is around 4 years old. She was saying that he said this is where the confusion comes in, because he lied to her about how old his child was when they first met, something. Anyway, Yandy had a boyfriend. It appears that Yandy has a reputation of sleeping around. I was not familiar with that, but again, I had never really watched the New York version. Erika said that Yandy was doing crazy stuff with other men who also had girlfriends. So Yandy has always been a pick-me. I think if you live in this society, it's going to be very hard to not be a pick-me as a woman, because we are taught a lot of messaging that men are the prize. You don't really have much worth unless you have a man, and that you need to be in a relationship to then garner the respect from other people, other women, other men. You either have to be taught by a very progressive parent that your sense of self is enough, regardless of whether you're partnered or not, or you have to unlearn, right? I'm one of those people who unlearned that women are not your competition. I would say I unlearned it pretty easily, probably by 21. unlearned it, but still, we are still conditioned to view women as competition and right, yeah, and to think that you have to compete for a man. So Yandy had that in her for a long time. I think in addition to being the pick me, she also had a lot of low self-esteem and probably a lot of areas of her life that then led her to do like emotionally dysregulated things when frustrated with the men she was interested in who had other girlfriends, right? So I think she was doing things like stalking people. Stalking might be too strong of a word, but like following people, harassing people, like sending unwanted text messages to people, accusing them of doing things, or like being with her man when they're the actual real girlfriend, stuff like that. Anyway, Yandy said that she was official with Mendeecees 2 years after they met. Like they were just friends. Like he introduced her to Erika as friends. In what world? Okay. And then can't you feel the energy of two people who've had sex with each other? You knew, right? Like they all knew. Okay. Yandy didn't want to believe that Mendeecees and Erika were in a real relationship. Between 2008 and 2015, Yandy said that she broke up with Mendeecees 5 or 6 times. Or she said we broke up. Relationships in which people break up and get back together and break up and get back together are toxic relationships. I don't need to know anything else about this relationship. That alone can tell me that this is a toxic relationship. I know people are really interested in attachment styles. I'm not like the major attachment styles that's really popular on social media. I am not a fan of using those in isolation, right? There are many different theories on attachment. But I do think that the idea of a push and pull in a relationship, similar to the way anxious avoidant, is it anxious avoidant, fearful avoidant, and an anxious attachment style, when those two people connect, it is often one person trying to be close, the other person not wanting to be close. One person reaching out more frequently, the other person not reaching out. These people can change roles, right? This is not very clearly explained by those attachment styles. This is more of a relational pattern style where the push-pull is what people are after. And so if one person pulls away, who doesn't typically pull away, the other person who usually pulls away will come closer and say, wait, why are you not all up on me? Why are you not checking for me? Oh, right? This is the dynamic that goes on. This is how you can hear stories about people who've been in relationships for 10 years on and off, but have not done like a stable, committed relationship where they've had any peace for any length of time because they're both interested in the push and the pull. Okay. So when I was listening to this, because this was videos from like 6 years ago or something, I said, does Mendeecees like Yandy, like as a person? Or does he view her as a way into the music industry? I don't know. Last year, was it last year? Or was it this last season? They did like a part 1 and a part 2. Mendeecees and Yandy went to couples therapy. And by the way, they're not legally married, but I do recognize spiritual partnerships as a marriage. Why do you need to get the courts involved? Especially with somebody who's so sketchy. So, right, he's been to prison. If you don't know that, like he has baby mamas, okay? He has child support, he has cases, whatever. He was in prison. He's not anymore. But they went to couples therapy and she was trying to convince him the importance of wearing his ring. And so this is where I come in and I say, it is very important for you to stop trying to fix or change your partner and to allow them to be themselves. Because if you allow them to be themselves, would you want them? If you were actively trying to convince them to change. He doesn't want to wear his relationship. He doesn't want to wear his wedding ring because he doesn't want people to know he's married. It's as simple as that. So the recent altercation that they had was Mendeecees was talking to a woman at a bar. He was there with his wife, but she was like on the other side. And women approach him all the time. I think I don't know if he's good looking. He's good looking. I don't know what else is it. I don't really know much about him. To me, he gives like not all there. I don't want to say slow, but it doesn't really sound like you would get a real conversation or stimulation out of him. And I mean that in like all the ways. So what women are seeing in him, I think maybe it's just dollar signs. A woman approached him at the bar, asked him if he was still married. Like, what's going on with you? How you doing? Are you still married? And he said it's complicated. Yandy, I don't think they had this discussion about why it was why he said that. Like him saying that his marriage is complicated is inappropriate because you're inviting this idea that you're available when, well, what he is. He is, that's the rumor going around, that he is actually very available. So that is inappropriate. You really don't seem to care about this marriage and you're opening yourself up. Lots of rumors about him being with other women. No, I can't say there's no concrete evidence. I think there has been concrete evidence. Yandy has finessed, reworded, defended, tried to fight women for this man for years, even from the very beginning with one of, I think it was Erika, because she wouldn't acknowledge that him and Erika were in a relationship. They almost got to fight. I don't know if they did fight. I know they had a back and forth of words because you're being disrespectful. And the two of them really just being toxic, fighting over a man that don't really want either of them. Because Erika said he was cheating on her with multiple women. It's not like Yandy was the only one. There were multiple women. So just a whole slew of women with low self-esteem who really should be sister wives. Just share him out in the open. Let's just let it be what it is. This man wants to hire him. Let him. If you're going to deal with him, let him. So Yandy definitely gives, I would like my man to cheat in peace. Stop bringing me information. So one of the characters on the show, Jessica, came up to Yandy to explain that the girl who first approached him at the bar, he was in her DMs. Like he was talking to her and trying to see what she was about. And Yandy came up with a lie so quickly. Listen, because the outrageous, this don't even make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Because she said that she messaged the girl from her husband's Instagram account. I don't think she realized the levels of nonsense that she said in that one sentence. First of all, why are you in his Instagram account? Now, I know that couples share phone codes, all of that stuff, right? But help me understand why you are in his Instagram account. Second of all, you are messaging a woman pretending to be him. What's the goal? What's the purpose, right? That don't make no sense. Testing to see if she would be interested. What does that prove? Because if she's being approached by a married man who doesn't respect his marriage, she might say, I'm down for a time. What are you expecting? Loyalty from a woman who you don't know, who doesn't know your husband, who just thinks, you're just trying to give a little talky talk? I don't know. Help me. You'll have to explain all of that to me. And then I don't know what the third thing was. Girl, it just don't make no sense. So she's explaining that she was the one who messaged, and I don't know if she explained what the point was, but she ends this defense of Mendeecees by explaining in front of him, because I don't think she told him that she was, first of all, I don't really think she messaged the girl. I think there are so many messages in there that she just checks his stuff to see if there is like long-term communication with a girl, or if he's planning to meet up with a girl. This is wild. I am sure Mendeecees already has another way of communicating with women in a secret way that Yandy doesn't know about. But either way, she is trying to explain to Jessica that Mendeecees didn't know she was doing this. And so she's apologizing to Mendeecees for doing this, even though she didn't ever really do it. It's really him making her look dumb. And then she starts going on a tirade about, did she say I'm going to be the last one standing? Y'all are always trying to break up a black family. Why are y'all after us? Like, it's not going to work. Like, she was going on this tirade about how she is being attacked by the outside, when in reality, her man is the ops, okay? Listen, this is a man, I'm not sure he likes her. I'm not convinced he likes her. I'm not even convinced he loves her. Why are you doing all of this? A habitual cheater? Like, this is the category of men that I don't think you cheating on her and hurting her so much. I think you literally do not care about her and her feelings. And I don't know, I've never researched why do men not leave. I definitely think he wants Yandy to leave him. Like, he wants her to say enough is enough. So he doesn't really care what he does, or if he gets in trouble, not trouble, but if he is being held accountable for his actions of hurting her. I don't think this man cares. Why he doesn't leave, I don't know. She offers a lot of, this is why I usually tell women I'm working with that whose man ain't, they're usually not cheating, but they're not really that great. They're not. They're not men of substance or integrity, really. You offer a lot of things, right? You're like the giver in the relationship and he's the taker. And so if you're going to keep giving, I'm going to keep taking. I could do what I want and take from you. Why would I leave? That's what I get from him. Yandy is the one with all the money, not all the money, but I know Yandy has a lot of business acumen. And so she provides a lot of things. She definitely moves like a woman who is boss lady, right? And even in her relationship, she's brought some of those dynamics that I think maybe haven't been helpful, but the relationship is toxic all around. So what does it even matter if she's also in her masculine in this relationship? So let's talk about what can Yandy do? Leave the man? I do not give recommendations for women who are in relationships like this to leave. Because, like you heard before, they broke up 5 or 6 times before they did their wedding, right? Women who are in situations like this are so confused. They're so back and forth. I just love him so much. I can't leave him. I can't live without him. I'm gonna live without him. F him. I don't want to do this anymore. I can't believe you hurt me. Like they go back and forth. So how do I know? I was this. You understand? Oh, I have videos on this too. They go back and forth, and telling them to leave is not helpful. It's literally not helpful because it's in the obvious and they already know that they would benefit from leaving. But their emotions are so out of whack that it's absolutely difficult to leave and just like be done. What if he gets better next week? What if he gets better next month? What if I had just waited until next year? What if I had just encouraged him and loved him and given him, right? A little bit more. Okay. It very rarely works, but that's not the advice I give women. So the book Women Who Love Too Much has some of the best titles in their chapters, and I just want to read some of them for you. Chapter 1: Loving the man who doesn't love back. Mendeecees. Good sex in bad relationships. Now, often in these relationships, we don't get to hear what the sex is about. You could probably think of someone like Jocelyn to see what the sex is like. The sex is usually great, euphoric. I'm not sure Mendeecees is really that great at sex, but it's not necessarily the actual reality of the sex. It's the perception of the sex being used to solve the problems in the relationship. And so it often feels euphoric, even if it's just regular sex. Jocelyn is not doing regular sex, but like for everybody else who does like missionary and stuff, it's still amazing. And then chapter 3 is, if I suffer for you, will you love me? If I suffer for you, will you love me? And number 4, the need to be needed. I think all of these apply to Yandy. I think it's super important for her to focus on herself, focus on improving her emotional regulation, because the whole crying and distraughtness after finding out a man has emotionally cheated on you again, and you want to fight us, not me, but the public, like the people that you think are attacking your marriage. A marriage cannot be attacked from the outside. A marriage can only end from the inside. And the two of them are contributing to the failure of their marriage. But that man is, it's definitely time to go. But in order to actually feel that, like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, for sureness, is first by focusing on improving your self-esteem, talking through the traumas, because women who are in relationships like this have been through a lot in childhood. A lot of this is pre-programming from observing relationships when you were growing up, or having a parent or caregiver treat you in a certain way, that you got used to this feeling of not enoughness, the thought that you don't deserve better. Yandy is beautiful. Like, she could legit be well loved, be spoiled, be taken care of. She brings so much like intelligence and good vibes to the table, like fun, right? She could bring so much to a relationship with a man who actually wanted to reciprocate what she had to offer, but she doesn't think she deserves it. She thinks Mendeecees is the best she could do. And she is deathly afraid of him not being in her life, because then it will prove, it's not really proof, but in her mind, it will prove that nobody wants her, that she's not worth anything, and that everything she does fails. These are the irrational thoughts that people have to work out in therapy. You have to believe you deserve better. You have to work on yourself. You have to focus on yourself. You have to stop micromanaging a man, a grown man. You don't ask him to wear his ring again. You don't ask him to stop sending women DMs. You don't ask him to do any of those things. You've already said it. It's been clear that faithfulness is an important value to you if you've already communicated it, because this is what we communicate in the first 3 months. But this is years and years of being together. You've already communicated it. There's no need to say it again. The only purpose it serves is to help you not deal with yourself. Your own feelings are what need to be dealt with. Leave that man alone. Let him do what he wants to do. Legit, let him cheat in peace. And then you see, if you don't say anything, how it builds up inside of you and how then you need to process that on your own, not explode at somebody else. Process it on your own. Deal with yourself. Work on building your self-esteem. And everything else will fall into place. The relationship will take care of itself. Either it will improve or it will end. Listen, all these women who righteously, proudly show us their relationships and are transparent about the F-ish, right? Like, I don't even need to do one of these on Rashida from Love and Hip Hop, because same thing. Very content. Not content is not the right word. Comfortable is not the right word either, but familiar. They are very familiar with the feeling of not enoughness. And so, listen, some people never get out of it in their lifetime. There are people in their 70s in toxic, abusive relationships. I can't make them see their worth. Maybe they will one day, but oftentimes they don't. Most people don't want to do this work because it's hard work. You have to face yourself. And yourself is full of sadness and pain. I'm wishing Yandy luck. Okay. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like this video, share it with someone you think it can help, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and thank you for watching.